Hi, so in this video I want to talk a bit about some of the ways in which we can try and stay healthy when we're working for ourselves. Because the fundamental truth is that if you're sitting down all day every day, it is really, really bad for your health. And I'm not going to claim to be some kind of health guru because I'm very clearly not. But it's something that I'm trying to take a bit more seriously because I spent the last 25 years of my working career sitting on my butt. And that really isn't good for you. So it can help, well, it will cause weight gain because you're not exercising during the day. It will cause blood circulation or poor blood circulation problems. It can lead to or be a contributing factor to heart disease, weakened muscles, diabetes, and also it's really bad for your posture. So now that I'm in an office where I pretty much I control my environment where I work, I decided to invest in a standing desk, and that's what you can see behind me here. So I'll show you some footage of the desk whilst I'm talking. And this isn't really an advert or review of this particular desk itself, but for anyone who is interested, the desk I went for was the Flexispot E2B electric sit-stand desk. And it's really cool. So it has obviously adjustable height controls, so you can go from sitting to standing. It has 3 memory locations, so I use one of the locations for my sitting position, one for my standard working position, and then I'm using the third one which I'm using for doing video. So the desk's a little higher than what I'd use, but in terms of trying to frame the video, just having the desk a bit higher worked out. So I have that on the third memory slot. And it also has an alarm function as well, so you can set an alarm so that when you're sitting, you can make these, after half an hour it'll let you know to stand. So this is one of the things that I'm doing to try and sort of get myself a bit fitter and healthier. Now I'm trying to do all the regular things as well, by improving my diet, cutting down drinking alcohol during the week, trying to take more regular walking exercise. So most lunchtimes I'll go out for a walk. I tend to do a lot of walking at home as well, just around my local area, just to help keep fit, which is good, but it kind of gets a bit undone if you then have to come to an office and sit down for 7, 8 or 9 hours. So it really isn't good. So that's why I decided to invest in one of these. Now, it wasn't particularly cheap. I'm in the UK. I think the legs cost £300, and then the actual worktop I went for was about 130. So there are cheaper ones out there. So I was looking at the IKEA Bekant desk, which looks pretty good. The only reason I didn't go for that one is because it doesn't have the memory locations, and I quite like the idea of having preset memory. So I looked on Amazon. I came across the Flexispot E2B. Looked at some reviews and some videos of how to assemble it, and it seems like everyone really likes it, and so that's the one I went for. Now this one has quite a cool worktop. If I just sort of turn around here, it's 1.4 meters wide. It has kind of a grooved cutout here, so you get a bit closer to the desk, but they have various different options as well. So they have some smaller, more rectangular desks, but I thought this one would work out quite well for me. So in terms of the routine I do, so too much standing can be just as bad for you as too much sitting. So you kind of need to balance that out. So the way I tend to do it, and I'm kind of experimenting with this, is the first hour or 45 minutes of the morning when I get into the office, I'm going through emails, I'm going through my schedule, working out what I'm going to do. I tend to do that with the desk standing up. Then I will put it to a sitting position. If I'm doing anything where I really need to concentrate, so I'm working on some code or I'm scripting for a course, I tend to do that sitting down just because I find that easier. But I'll only sit for about 40 minutes or an hour at the maximum, and then I'll just elevate the desk up and I'll stand up for a little bit. So I've had, between getting into the office at around 8:30 and taking lunchtime at 12, I've had 2 good long standing sessions and some sitting sessions as well. Then I tend to go out for a walk at lunchtime. So here in Cromford, where I work, in Derbyshire in the UK, we have a canal right next to the office. So there's a small place called High Peak Junction, which is about half an hour walk from the office. So I tend to walk there, have my lunch, and then walk back, which gives me a good bit of aerobic, exercise. I try to walk at a decent pace whilst listening to a podcast. So then when I come back in to the office, because I've just been out for a long walk, I shall sit for about an hour. Then I'll move it to a standing position and do some more work, and then I'll probably finish off by the day by sitting. So I try and mix it up. Now, one of the things I've bought is a anti-fatigue mat, which I've got on the floor. So the one I've got is the Flexispot one, just because when I bought it on Amazon, it appeared in the, customers frequently buy this section of the website. And this is kind of really important because it's a kind of a spongy mat. It's about 1 inch thick, and it allows you just to sort of move around a bit easier because it's spongy, and it's got these kind of like beveled edges as well. So you can use that to sort of rest your feet in different positions. And it's kind of important that when you're using a standing desk that you try and move around a bit. So if I'm doing tasks like editing podcast episodes or editing videos like this, or for my Pluralsight courses, I tend to be moving around quite a bit and shifting my feet position whilst I'm working. And that just helps keep you moving a bit. Now, I've had this desk for about a week so far, so I can't really talk about the long-term benefits of a sit-stand desk. But so far, I do feel a lot more awake. So especially in the afternoon, you've had lunch, I've just done a long walk. You tend to feel a bit tired towards the late afternoon. But at that point in the afternoon, I'm standing up again. And that just helps me sort of stay more alert and focused. So I'm definitely seeing benefits in that point of view. I'm trying to be very aware of my posture as well, so I'm trying not to slouch over the desk. I'm trying to sort of stand with my shoulders back as much as I can. And I'm hoping that the long-term benefits will be good for me. So I'm trying to lose weight at the minute. I'm not a naturally aerobic person. I don't really go playing sports. But on doing a lot of research, you don't need to do huge amounts of exercise to stay healthy. You can get away with 20-30 minutes of a good, not running, but a good walk each day where your heartbeat or your heart rate is elevated to the point where if you're going to be slightly out of breath to hold a conversation, then from what I've read, that seems to be a good sort of level of intensity for your workout. So I'm trying to do that. I'm not particularly interested in sports. I don't play football, I don't play tennis, not particularly interested in swimming. So I'm not a sporty person. So I'm hoping that these small adjustments, which are quite manageable to my routine, I'm sort of starting to make them habits, will actually sort of be quite beneficial to me as well. As well as drinking lots of water during the day. So I now have a water service delivering decent quality water to the office, because the stuff out the tap here in Cromford really doesn't taste very nice. So I get water delivered. So that's it really. I just wanted to talk about the fact that I'm really pleased with my new standing desk. I'm hoping it's going to make a difference for me over time. If you're in an environment where you control the environment and you can be in a position to get one of these, I highly recommend it. You don't have to spend that much. You can get standing desks which, instead of having the electric motor, actually has a hand crank, and they tend to be a lot cheaper. So if spending a lot of money on one of these desks is an issue, then that's an actual cheaper option that you can do. Also, you can buy these desk risers. Flexispot do some, which are supposed to be quite popular, where it sits on a standard desk. They take up a bit of space, but when you want to stand up, you just kind of pull this riser and the whole platform raises, and it's all piston activated, so you don't have to take the full weight of it yourself. And they seem to be quite popular, and again, they're a lot more cost effective to do. If you're working for a company who just has normal standing, or has normal sort of sitting desks, you could try and ask them to buy you one. I mean, I've tried to get companies to buy me a standing desk before in the past, and it's always been met with a very firm no, because they already have desks there. And naturally, you get the problem, if they get you a standing desk, then everyone else is going to want one. So it's some companies do provide them, and it's fantastic when they do. But if you're in another company, it's worth asking. But unfortunately, not all companies will provide those. But for someone like me, I'm in my own office. I control the environment. I can put what I want in here. So it was a very definite time to get a standing desk, and it was kind of my little reward. So I've just finished my 14th Pluralsight course. So this is my little present to myself for finishing that course. So there you go. So that's kind of how I'm trying to stay a bit more active and a bit more fit whilst working for myself. So I'll see you again in another video soon. Bye.